Good day, mates, and welcome back to Enneahouse. For our show today, in continuation of our animal sub-series, we're taking a walk in the late Steve Irwin's shoes and talking about reptiles. Like always, these videos are meant to teach about the complexities of the Enneagram rather than to teach about animals. So hopefully something we say helps you learn more about your type and that of those around you. So here we go. Type 1. Terrapin.
Calidra serpentina, the snapping turtle, and other terrapins may be depicted as brutal, vicious, and domineering, but that's only when their homes are threatened. Even here in this picture, the snapping turtle may look dangerous, but you can see a somewhat gentle smile and a laid-back demeanor that shows that it really just wants to be left alone. Terrapins happen to like their homes just the way they are and become very curious when unknown entities like people enter their domain. Typically, they're at the top of their food chain, so they don't worry too much about being hurt. Instead, they're more likely to duck away under the water or into their shells than get into an altercation.
Type 2. Garter Snake.
Thamnophis sirtalis, the garter snake, is a species of friendly snake. I used to call them gardener snakes when I was young because I didn't know that it was pronounced garter snake. But in a sense, gardener snake is appropriate because they live in our gardens, eating things that would damage them. My sister had a pet one for several years, and it was always friendly to her. So gentle and amiable are they that for thousands of years people have welcomed them happily into their homes, gardens, and yards, all while not knowing that they do in fact emit a neurotoxic venom from a stinger in the back of their throat. They can cause bruising inflammation, but their venom is weak and they have a hard time administering it, so generally they're content to just live their lives.
Type 3. Crocodile.
Crocodilus niloticus, on the other hand, is one of the most aggressive and dangerous animals on the planet. When my wife saw this picture, she asked, "What is he doing with his front hand?" My thought was, he might be rubbing his hands together in anticipation of his next meal. Indeed, crocodiles are quite ambitious. They rule the rivers with their powerful jaws and ability to digest almost anything. They're not picky about what they feed on as long as it fills them. Despite all this, they're actually very family-oriented and rely on all their senses to receive and show affection. They gain acceptance and leadership through the giving and receiving of respect.
Type 4. Basilisk.
Basilicus, named after a beast of Greek legend with a petrifying gaze. This creature prides itself on an array of unique features. Here in this picture we can see its most unique feature, which is literally running on the surface of water. Some might think this is pure fantasy, but it is a very real creature. With its aerodynamic body and wide feet, the basilisk can literally run on the top of the water. Even if it falls in, it is one of the few lizards that can swim very well due to its abnormally pronounced crest. Despite this, its greatest defense is to blend in with its surroundings and not be seen or noticed at all.
Type 5. Skink.
Tiliqua skinkoides is probably the least well-known reptile on this list. I was honestly surprised when the AI got it right away, giving me something that very much looks like a skink. In fact, some skinks do look like they don't have back legs, and some may not even have legs at all, but they are a kind of lizard, not a kind of snake. That adaptation allows them to look like a snake, even though they have no venom. In fact, the body of a skink is designed to draw as little attention to itself as possible, but then to survive no matter what it takes when challenged. Some species have blue tongues that intimidate foes, while others have tails that look like heads. Some even have tails that look like the stinger of a scorpion. They make up for their lack of strength with intimidation and intelligence.
Type 6. Chameleon.
Chameleon, the most famous of all creatures that can become nearly invisible. Chameleon has become synonymous with adaptability and blending in. In fact, this picture doesn't really show a chameleon using its most famous feature, but at the same time, a chameleon prefers to live a slow life, looking around with its large eyes in all directions, rather than having to rely on its ability to change color. That they can change their color is only one of their adaptations. They can also, as I said before, look in all directions to both avoid predators and find prey, and then they have long, sticky tongues to catch their prey from far away. They typically take life slowly, except when threatened, at which point they can become very speedy.
Type 7. Monitor lizard.
Varana salvator is a frightening and very large creature. I remember distinctly walking down the streets of the city-state of Singapore with an Indonesian when we crossed by the path of a large monitor lizard. He became so petrified with fear that he couldn't move from that spot for nearly 15 minutes and then insisted on going back. The monitor lizard's diet is so varied and eclectic that all manner of bacteria grow in its mouth, not to mention its actual venom. A bite from this creature can be exceedingly painful. Its general lack of fear or care for its surroundings adds to its image as a modern-day dragon. That being said, monitors are incredibly intelligent and can even be calm enough to keep as pets. As long as you don't let their mouth run away from them, their bite can be exceedingly painful.
Type 8. Boa Constrictor.
Boa Constrictor's scientific name is literally Boa Constrictor, which just screams, I'm a type 8, deal with it. Even though the face of this creature is not exactly that of a boa constrictor, that well-muscled body and huge lump in its stomach seem to be saying, ask me if I care. Their choking coils and massive length allow them to put the squeeze on their foes, which they eat alive. They are heavy, immovable, and have few natural enemies. However, they can be quite gentle and are even kept as pets. They are ovoviviparous, meaning they eat their eggs and give live birth, making them possibly the best reptile mothers.
Type 9. Tortoise.
Calinoidus niger, the long-lived but extremely endangered Galapagos tortoise, lives a slow and pensive life. You can see here on a beautiful island, the tortoise seems to have everything that it could possibly want. My mother collects turtles, and she asked me to make sure that turtle represented her type, type 9. The Galapagos tortoise has a slow and pensive lifestyle and simple needs that give it the added benefit of legendary longevity. When they are cold, they bask. When they are hungry, they eat. When they are tired, they sleep. They fear little in the world around them and are very friendly. These tortoises are slow enough and passive enough that many humans have sadly overexploited them, causing their numbers to tragically dwindle.
And there we have it. Just a few reptiles that match the 9 types of the Enneagram. As always, we'd love to hear what animals or other categories you think of and to help you discover your own Enneagram type. Like, subscribe, and check out our website in the link to take your Enneagram test and set up your appointment to meet with us to learn more about yourself than you ever thought possible. Join us next time as we dive under the sea for a look at animals of all shapes and sizes. Until then, improve yourself, improve relationships, improve the world.